Gigabyte Grizzly Brohema. And this is a messed up time we live in, so I need you all to do me a favor. Wear your mask. Like this, not like this, or like this, or like this, like this. Wear your mask. It's for your safety and mine. If I see you without one, I'm gonna kick a mask onto your face. Got it?
Once again, we are here for the Fight Council meeting. I am the fight director and the head of the Fight Council, and as always, your host for the evening, Paul Atlas. And I am joined, as usual, by my Fight Council members. Tonight, I have Stacy Hunter with me, Dash Bennett, RPW, and back after an absence himself, Dean Radford is joining us tonight. So we have a few things to talk about. As we've seen some of the last tidbits of Area 2 this past week, kind of some bonus footage that was out there. Also, as promised, I have a special announcement concerning Tatiana Rose and Area 3. And I actually want to jump in and start off right out of the gate. Stacy, you said you had an announcement that was going to just basically knock the boys over. So I'm going to give you the floor right out of the gate here and allow you to go ahead and give us that announcement.
Masked Avenger 2.0.
No, this is not going to be another mass disaster, trust me. I have gone out and I've signed another big name to my team. I have gotten so sick and tired of all the fighting, the losing, the crap. I went out and got somebody that will help me get my team back on track, that will help me focus on my team and not on myself.
Well, okay.
You picked up James Conner?
That's all right. He'll be hurt in a week.
Third gear.
I think we have some video first before I mention his name.
Okay.
I thought we did.
Sure. All right. Well, obviously you didn't plan that out very well, Stace. So just go ahead and jump right into it.
That flopped just as bad as the Mass Assassin or whoever the guy was.
Whatever the hell his name was.
I give up. Jesus fucking Christ. So no, I did make a signing, and that signing, and he will be here next week, is Dylan Dean.
Bubba Brewer is not with us this week, but I'm sure if he's listening in, he just fell out of his chair.
You probably hit Bubba harder than the Steelers getting down by the Browns.
I think I just heard him yell.
I bet Bubba's face is redder than usual right now. Wow.
Wow.
Stacy, why do you think that that's going to lead you in a better place when him and Bubba, who know each other so long, they couldn't even get their shit together? Why do you think it's going to work for you?
Well, I think it's going to work for me because I'm actually going to listen to Dylan. Bubba didn't want to listen to him at all. Bubba just wanted to go do his thing, and that was it. I'm going to listen to Dylan. I mean,
so essentially,
what?
So he's going to be running your team instead of you. Is that what I hear?
No, he's going to be helping me with my team.
It sounds like you're going to let him run it.
No.
Didn't you have heat with him in the past?
With Dylan Dean? Absolutely not.
You had heat with everybody.
I mean, I feel like
that was the one person I didn't have heat with.
I feel like Stacy's going to be taking a backseat to her own team. Not that I disagree with the decision, but maybe it's necessary. Maybe it needs to happen.
Wow, I mean that without a doubt is a blockbuster. There's no two ways about that. And like I said, Bubba Brewer not with us this week. Bubba has had more than his share of troubles with Dylan Dean since day one when he drafted him. I mean, let's face it, the kid jumped the rails. He went off on his own and pretty much disappeared, so to speak, from everything Fight Underground. We did not see him at all at Area 2.
He may have disappeared for you guys. I was still talking to him. I don't know.
That's a really good point, though, is that, I mean, Bubba was so confident and so smug in that decision, but it came back to bite him in the ass. Stacy, is that going to come back to bite you in the ass, too?
No.
Okay.
I think it's already biting you in the ass. I mean, you can't even make a normal announcement about it. You're already messing that up, so I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, hell, you're sitting here talking about Dylan Dean, who is a shyster. We know it from the beginning. He's not going to help you. You're already in shambles. You're giving up. Hey, how's loss prevention doing? Just curious.
Loss prevention will be back for Area 3. Don't worry.
I got some catching up to do. You know, I had COVID took my life over for the last month, so I'm in a transition of trying to figure out what the hell happened since I was gone. I mean, the one thing I wish would have happened didn't happen. Dash is still here, but I mean,
yeah.
How do you keep you come up with these stupid ideas? Like first you're bringing in the mask dumbass, he sucks, and then you're gonna Dylan.
Okay, look. I admit the mass idiot was a really bad idea. Let's just forget about that.
You should have brought your pillowcase instead.
Yeah, probably. I can at least admit when I screwed up, and that is why I worked with Dylan and made this deal with him, so him and I can work together and try to get my team back on track.
Dylan doesn't make deals for you. He makes deals for him. So he's probably going to suck the life out of you, take your team, and next thing you're going to know, you're like, oh, please, can somebody else get me on their team? You're not even going to have a team.
Stacy, I'm going to give you this advice. If you're going to be working with Dylan Dean, you better be looking over your shoulder at him at all times. I would not trust him for a second. I mean, I'd like to say that I feel sorry for you, but I really don't. I'm really going to enjoy seeing this unfold.
I just think their personalities will be mirroring each other. I think this is actually going to be like a suitable fit for Stacy's team. They both can try to one up each other. So I'm actually kind of curious, Stacy. I'll tip my hats off to you on this one. This could be an interesting move.
Dylan will be here next week, and he can explain everything.
Okay,
do we need to extend the show an extra half hour so Dylan can talk?
We may have to. I mean, probably nobody here on this council knows Dylan as well as I do. He was a pain in my ass 25 years ago. And let's face it, he's been a pain in my ass since he came back to Fight Underground. So, Stace, you got your hands full. So, but that's going to
I like a challenge. What can I say?
I hope you like strawberries, too.
I love strawberries.
Oh, that's true. He is the strawberry king. So, but that's going to lead me into my announcement this week. Area 3, first of all, is going to have a new addition to it. I can tell you that right now. When Area 3 goes down, there will be a brand new addition to Area 3. It's going to be for the betterment of Fight Underground. And that leads me into the special announcement I said I had about Tatiana Rose. Stace, you might want to turn your volume up. Make sure you're
really making clear. The match that I asked for.
Really, I want to be really clear in my in your headset. See,
you're making the match. Oh, Paul, I love you.
Tatiana Rose will most definitely be a part of Area 3.
Yay!
She has been signed, sealed, and delivered to the new addition to Area 3. And that is Team Atlas.
What?
What?
Yes. I'm throwing my hat in the ring as a coach, and I have acquired her services. I have all the contracts after all. And I will also have Tatiana on with us next week And Stace, she can explain to you, and we'll explain to you exactly what went down. Don't try to get hold of her ahead of time because I know she's blocked you totally. But there you have it.
Ungrateful bitch.
Oh, this is great. This keeps getting better and better.
Shut up, Dash. You've lost team members too.
See, you're over here worried about Dylan and you're losing your team already.
You know what? I don't care. Fine, screw her. She don't want to be on my team. Have at it, Paul. You can have the ungrateful little bitch, okay? Have at it.
Now
That's
you sound
perfectly
like
fine with me.
Dash.
Now,
with
hey, didn't we go through this when Resnick turned on Dash? I mean, come on, Stace. You got to watch your
Yeah,
back.
Stacy, how does it feel? I mean, no Bubba, then Stacy getting screwed. This is the fight council meeting that keeps on giving.
Oh,
This
that was
isn't
a
the way that I
slow
like to
burn.
be screwed. That's
So you
tough.
have a little bit of up, you have a little bit of down. Hey, shit goes on. What can I say? So,
Bullshit.
and next week, Tatiana will indeed be on with us as well, and she will talk about signing with Team Atlas and what that means to her and what it's going to mean for Area 3 as well, because as I said, it's the brand new edition. It's Team Atlas.
So what is this motive, Paul? Because when we started this, you wanted nothing to do with it, and now you're going to start poaching?
Well, let me put it to you this way, Dean. I've been sitting back and I've been watching some things that have been going on, and it might be lesson time. I'm just going to leave it at that.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to leave it at that. It's all going to unfold as Area 3, as we progress towards Area 3, Dean.
Oh, this is great. I love it. I love it.
Dash, wipe that smirk off your face because you don't know who else he's going to steal.
Well, I mean, that's what it comes down. Dash is going to be complaining next week because Paul's going to probably take someone off of him. But it's like, I want to know this motive here because
I don't think Paul really has to take anybody from Dash. They kind of just jump ship. But, they jump ship on me
just
too,
like-
obviously.
I'm going to have to dig into this. I'm going to have to make a few phone calls and dig into this because, Paul, you don't do anything without a plan, and I don't like what you're doing right now.
You know what, Dean? I don't care.
Yeah, I agree with Dean. I don't like what you're doing, Paul. That's
And I don't
mean.
care if you don't
being
care about
sneaky.
that either.
You're acting like Dash Bennett, and I don't like it.
Oh, hey, all's fair in love.
It was a
in war, guys.
compliment.
To you.
I don't know. I don't like it. I think, first you want nothing to do with it. You're the fight director, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean you're stepping back?
No. I'm still the fight director.
Well, where's the odds way? Where's the odds way? I don't.
We'll just have to sit back and tune in and see, won't we?
God, I've been gone for a month. I come back to this shit.
Just watch your backs, boys and girls. That's all I can say. So, on that note, we're going to move into a little discussion here I'd like to have this week about some of what we saw this past week with a tag team. Matter of fact, a tag team of yours, Dean. Team you kind of just threw together for Area 3 or Area 2. Sorry about that. I'm just all pumped up about Area 3 right now. You put
At least one
Tad
of us.
Jarvis together with Timothy Titan. And then Coach of the Year to you, Dean.
Uh-huh.
You throw them in there with Warhorse.
Uh-huh.
Dude, that's putting an NFL team in with a high school team. What in the world could that do for these guys?
Listen, I said it from the beginning. Okay, first of all, as far as Timothy Titan, I told Tad, go find yourself a partner. He chose the worst guy in the locker room. That's not my fault, okay? Second of all, I told Tad, if you don't start paying attention to detail, unfortunately, you're going to have to learn the hard way. And the hard way was getting put in there with Warhorse. Sometimes, in order to be better, you got to take a few lumps, Paul. You know that better than anybody.
But I mean, to feed them basically to a meat grinder. I mean,
Here,
I mean,
Paul,
their
look.
careers could have been ended.
Could have been, should have been, maybe wasn't, I don't know. But what it comes down to is this. you know as well as I do, training the future stars here, not only were they fed to Warhorse, but I fed them to my own team too with the Sons of Liberty, Dennis Gregory and Super Hentai. Here's the thing, Paul, listen, you know as well as I do. You don't show up for training, you learn the hard way. You don't show up to master the skills, you learn the hard way. I told Tad, put that goddamn phone away and start showing up. He didn't show up. So hopefully, after getting his ass whooped, he's learned it's time to show up.
But has he learned though?
Well, he hasn't been on social media.
You mean
Really?
You
'Cause
mean
he's in the
social
chat
media
room
as
right
in?
now.
Yeah, he's in the chat for this stream.
You don't see that selfie stick up in his face. He might be listening, he might be looking, but that's just taking notes. Trust me, Tad has a lot to give, but he's just got to learn the hard way. And it's okay to learn the hard way. He'll get there. But sometimes, you know, you just got to get your ass whooped in the middle of the ring.
I don't know. I mean, I get, you know, not only, I was going to bring the other part of that up, Sons of Liberty, your own team. I mean, Fight Underground is about wins and losses. Fight Underground is about, you know, your team's winning and losing. And you basically threw yourself 2 losses. I just don't get that. I just don't.
I did not pick Timothy Titan for anything.
I
That
want
was
to
your
talk
team.
about that. About that.
Hold on,
The
shut up,
fact-
Dash. I'm not done yet. So, with that, Paul, yes, I may have set myself into a disadvantage, but at the end of the day, sometimes you got to start smelling like shit before you start smelling like flowers. And that's where Tad's at, okay? He's at the bottom of the shoe. But he gets kicked around. He learns a little bit from Team Radford, not just Warhorse. I put him in there with team because the team can build a team. And if anybody can show anybody anything, Dennis Gregory and Super Hentai are 2 of the most top-notch guys in this town who can show you a thing or two. So after that ass whooping, I'm hoping he reached out to them and said, what can I do better for this team? How can I be a leader like you two with everything you've done in this business? So again, it takes initiative, and that's what we're trying to teach Dad. Not just the initiative of shoving his selfie stick up his ass every day, but putting them boots on, lacing them up, and being what he says he is, which is the next big thing in Fight Underground.
Or maybe you can say my coach is an asshole and I'm out of here.
Paul, it takes one to know one, bud.
I've never denied that. Never have I denied that.
Go ahead, Dash. You can have your 30 seconds now.
Well, I find it interesting that you put the power in Tad's hands to pick his partner. And I mean, you just a bonehead decision, really. I mean, Timothy Titan, and maybe, just maybe, you were doing that so you could pad the win records of your own tag team, the Sons of Liberty. I mean, you got some shady business going on there, Dean. I don't like it.
Wow. Pot, meet, kettle.
Dean's got no response from me.
Dean, you're talking, but you're muted, buddy.
Stupid computer. It's all Dash's fault. He's getting me fired up. Listen, here's what it comes down to. He could have picked anybody. He could have came to me and said, D. Radford, I want you to be my partner. I would have stepped in that ring with him.
Against
I would've
Warhorse?
Huh?
Against
Yeah,
Warhorse?
I've been in the ring with so many people, it don't matter. I'll punch Warhorse in the face. I'll punch anybody in the face. I love Dennis Gregory and I love Super Hentai, but if he asked me to get in the ring with my brothers, I would have punched them in the face. It's what we do. It's how you teach. It's how you learn.
Or you might have got punched in the face. You know, maybe
I
you would
probably
have learned a
would've-
lesson.
Dennis Gregory probably super kicked me in the face. It happens. It's happened before. It's happened again. But Dash, don't start shit. Don't start trying to. Don't do that.
No. I want to hear what these guys have to think about. Stace, I know you're having a bad night, even though you thought you were going to have a good night. But as a coach yourself, what do you think about this?
Well, I have to agree with one thing that Dean says. As a coach, if you got to get in there and take care of business, you have to. If somebody on my team asked me to be in the ring with them, I would do it. As the coach, that's what I need to do, to be out there and to help. That's where Dash went wrong with the whole John Roden thing. He wasn't at ringside, like, I forget who the hell was it.
Not relevant.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I agree with that part of it. I could kind of see where Dean went with this. And even if it was just, feeding them to pad the record or whatever, Tad does need to learn a lesson. We've been saying that since Area 1, and hopefully he learned the lesson this week.
Well, time, I guess, will tell if he's learned his lesson or not. RPW, again, you're a coach, buddy. You got this team on your side. You got this team you've cultivated. What do you think about Dean's philosophy on this? Is this something you would do? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the same side as Dean at this one. The kid needs a lesson and tough love, and he needs to shape up or ship out, and it's time to start calming down a little bit and treating this a little bit more seriously, and working with guys like Warhorse. I mean, you're in for a fight of your life. And maybe you learn something, maybe you don't, but yeah, you got to take something away from this and try to like step up your game and change your philosophy. So I'm okay with that. Do I think that he did that to pad a win? I don't know about that. I think this was more of a let's teach him a lesson, more or less than getting a win. So I'm iffy on that part of it.
I doubt that Tad Jarvis learned anything from this entire experience except that Dean Radford is an asshole.
So let me just go ahead and counter you on that. For a second, I'm going to agree with you. I am an asshole.
Say you're an asshole? Yeah.
I am an asshole, but I'm an asshole who's going to teach someone the right way. I just text Tad, and he knows over the next couple of weeks, he said you're going to see a big change in him. He has learned his lesson, and he has found the leadership that he knew I could give him.
Well, then kudos to you. That's what we've been preaching for how long now, that he needs to stay off the social media. He needs to be a little bit more focused in the ring and kind of like treating this a little bit more seriously. So kudos, Dean.
Thank you.
Well, I guess time will tell as to Tad Jarvis and his decision. I mean, Timothy Titan now, is he a part of Team Radford, or was that a one-night deal? What do you got? What's the plan there, Dean?
Listen, if Timothy Titan wants to step up and he wants to be on Team Radford, come on, kid. I'll bring you on. I'll teach you a few things. It's fine. Come on board. It's fine. I'm okay with it. I welcome anybody. We're here to teach anybody, right, Paul? That's what we said. We're here to help these young guys. Anybody wants to step up and say, hey, Dean, can you please guide me? Absolutely, 100%.
And you got to prove that you're worthy enough to be in Fight Underground. So yeah,
absolutely.
Why not?
These guys are sitting on the bench watching. Well, guess what? You're not getting matches by sitting on that bench. Get up off your ass, move the fuck over, and ask for help. That's how you get it.
Well, I mean, I will agree with that. If you're sitting there thinking about what kind of wrestler you're going to be and not proving what kind of wrestler you're going to be, you ain't doing much for yourself. That's for sure. Padding the wins and losses, yeah, I'm not really going to go with that too much. I got to kind of disagree with that, but I guess we're going to see in the upcoming weeks if Tad truly has found the leadership that he needs in this business to
well, I guarantee you, he's sending me all kind of eccentric memes and emojis. That's Tad. He's weird, but that's what he does. He's excited, and I can just tell that his future is going to get a lot brighter because with him saying he's found that leadership and what I've shown him, I can't wait. I'm excited.
Are you sure you're deciphering those hieroglyphics appropriately?
Yeah, there's no grapefruits. There's no eggplants, no grapefruits, no. Yep, we're good.
All right, because I mean, I'm a little bit older than most, and I still have trouble with that. And it's baffling to me these kids today and their
there's these
technology.
Celebration things, these cheers things, some cheers and some blowhorns and maybe it's a cupcake. I don't know, but there's no eggplants, and that's what's important.
That's the good thing. So it sounds like Tad may have found what he's looking for. We'll see. Time will tell. That's for sure. So
the hell's that supposed to mean?
Time will tell.
What are you smirking about?
I'm just loving life right now, Dean.
See, I told you, now you got to watch him because he's going to be a sneaky bastard like Dash.
What
Hold
would
on,
I
I'm texting.
what would I do with Tad Jarvis? I don't even.
I
I'm
don't want to
lucky.
know what you would do with Tad Jarvis.
I'm lucky I can get on these meetings every week. I'm so techno challenged. What the hell? How am I going to communicate with a
Maybe
kid
he's going to
who
teach you how
sends
to use it.
pictures? I mean, it's nuts. He probably sends those too, and those little emoji things that he's got
Hold on.
going on.
I'm texting him right now, and
Okay.
he is absolutely 100% on board to be a winner. That is words from Tad Jarvis.
Okay. All I'm
There it
saying is time will tell. You know, I mean,
Time's gonna tell, Paul. You just wait and see.
maybe he's learned his lesson.
I mean, you're taking a lot of stock in this, but he has to prove it in the ring, and I don't think he can.
Well, nobody thought you could do anything, and you never did, so you're all right.
I proved everyone wrong there, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, you know, you're kind of
With a
like
whole lot of
you're-
help.
you're kind of like the last kid picked for kickball. We let you on just because it's funny. So let's talk about. We've wrapped up Area 2 for the most part with our bonus footage. We now know the two winners of the first two areas, obviously the Rev and Beastman. And as we stated, this is moving towards crowning the Alpha champion in Fight Underground. And that is the match that's going to be, the highlight of Area 3 is going to be crowning the champion. So, Dean, I know you have a special announcement with that, and I know you want to present to the fans and all those watching us here tonight. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Go ahead.
I mean, the big thing, Paul, is that we're looking at is this right here. This right here is what those two men are going to be fighting for. Okay, so what it comes down to, let me get my center of gravity here. You know, I'm a little off because it's still being sick, but this belt, this is a beautiful belt. And basically what it comes down to is you're going to have two bulls locking horns for this and to become the first ever Fight Underground champion.
All right, very good. I want to get into a little bit of discussion about that. RPW, I'm going to start out with you here on this one. Let's talk about this, crowning the Alpha champion, the first ever Fight Underground heavyweight champion. This is going to be a monumental moment in Area 3. You've seen the belt, once again, Fight Underground sparing no expense. The two combatants, the Rev Ron Hunt, who has been called the number one draft pick, the franchise, if you will, of Fight Underground. No disrespect to Shane Douglas. And you have the Beastman, the big burly brute from deep, dark West Virginia. Let's talk about that.
Well, let's talk about both men are 3-0. This is going to be the opportunity to give one of them a loss. Who's it going to be? The Rev, the Beastman? I mean, time will only tell. I'm excited for it for one reason and one reason only: to crown the Fight Underground champion. And I'm just gonna throw it out there now that the Beastman, he shocked everybody by running through everyone. I'm gonna say the Beastman will run through the Rev and become the first Fight Underground champion.
Okay, that's I don't know if that's going with the dark horse or not, but yeah, that's a bold prediction here, RPW. Again, both these men, top talents, well-traveled athletes. I mean, this is what Fight Underground is all about.
And this match can main event any card in any state, in any city, in any major arena. So, I mean, this is going to be the biggest match that has been in Fight Underground. I'm excited for it.
Sure, and as we said from the beginning, go big or go home, and we are definitely going big on this one. Dash Bennett, I want you to step on in here. We're talking about, the big historical event that will take place at Area 3, the crowning of the first ever heavyweight champion in Fight Underground. It'll be in the Alpha division. We've got the combatants. We've got the Beastman. We've got the Rev Ron Hunt, the blue chip athlete, against the Savage, who, just grinds on that bone. We've seen that bone come into play, as you argued about last week. let's get your thoughts. I mean, your man John Roden losing to the Beast Man for him to get to Area 2. You've been up front with him. You've seen that. Well, no, you didn't. Never mind. You forgot to show up for the match. I forgot about that. But give your thoughts anyway.
Well, I'm a little torn on this because I don't really like either of these guys. I've been pretty critical of the Rev, just getting a lot of undeserved credit, in my opinion. I still think he's a caliber athlete. He deserves to be in the finals, but everyone has been singing his praises from day one. And I think that they've just built him up to the point where if he loses this opportunity, he's going to fall hard. I think I brought that up before too, when we were talking about the Area 1 finals. Can he come back from a big loss like that because of this pedestal that he's been built up on? Now, with Beastman, I think what it really comes down to is that X factor in his corner of Justin Idol. We saw the Rev in the Area 1 finals counter Justin Idol shenanigans. And it's going to come down to if the Rev can outsmart Idol or keep an eye out for what he has up his sleeve.
Okay, that's I think that's a very good analysis. Believe it or not, I'm going with there. Again, like I said, you got the Savage, you got the blue chip athlete. I mean, you couldn't have two more diverse individuals going for the Fight Underground Championship at this point. I mean, these two couldn't be more polar opposite if we built fighters from the ground up. Dean Radford, I'm going to get your thoughts coming in on the biggest thing in Fight Underground since obviously the announcement of Fight Underground as we go to crown our Alpha King champion, our first heavyweight champion in Fight Underground. You know both these fighters very well. Jump on in here, big guy.
Yeah, man. Okay. Unbiasedly looking at it, I've been in the ring with both guys. Okay, so what it comes down to is with Rev's never beat me, but that kid put me to a limit, and that was when he wasn't at the top of his game right now. Okay, so back then, Rev was still getting wet behind the ears and trying to learn how to be better and how to get in that ring and not only work with smaller guys but bigger guys. And as far as Beastman's concerned, he has to, Rev's got to watch with Beastman. Okay, Beastman can get in the ring with anybody and make him look like a rag doll. He did it to me before. You have a guy who is 400 pounds and he moves around like he's about 280. Okay, he can get in that ring and he can do things that some people just aren't meant to do, which is funny because I remember being told a few things like that myself at a younger age when I started this business. So Beastman is probably the biggest, and I say that in terms of not just being big, but one of the biggest assets to Fight Underground. Okay. But he's got to keep that natural instinct. If he gets caught up like he did with the Bone or anything like that, I mean, anything could take his attention away. As far as Rev's concerned, about a year and a half, Rev was probably at the highest point of his career on the indies and doing stuff. And I think COVID may have taken his steam away a little bit. But now since he's in Fight Underground, he seems to rejuvenate himself a little bit. I think that when you look at these two guys and who they've been in the ring with, you can't take away from anybody. Okay, Loss Prevention and Rev, they had a great match. You had, Beastman and Roden going the distance. And I really didn't know who was coming out of that match because Roden almost won. But, you see these guys just being able to go. It's going to be a great match. And if I have to put my hands on it and say who I think is going to walk out the winner, I would have to say I'm going to go with Rev.
Okay, and he's been a pick of yours from the very beginning. I know that.
Yes.
So going with what you know in that situation, and I've unfortunately well past the prime of my career. I've never had the privilege of being involved in. Well, no, I take that back. I did have a small match with Beastman right towards the end of my career, but I've never had the pleasure of actually being in the ring with a talent like the Rev Ron Hunt. I have seen and called a lot of his matches. Um, so I know from the aspect of outside looking in, the Rev is a talent. I've been hard on him in the past, especially when it comes down to, the Rev he's showbiz. He's up there, man. He was always providing that Hollywood style, that, with the bling and the cars and the watches and the jewelry, and sometimes, in my mind, in the beginning, he over talked possibly his abilities.
But he backed it
Beastman,
up.
uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I won't deny that as he progressed uh, through the various different organizations that he's been in, and since he's come to Fight Underground, he has more than stepped up to the plate. He's proven that he is a student of the game. He scouts the game, and as you just seen in that short video clip that was playing behind me, uh, he was able to counter the low blow by Justin Idol that Justin used to win his first match in Area 2. So, the man's doing tape study. He's watching what's going on. He's proven to be pretty much what everybody says he is. And that is a franchise player in any promotion. And then on the other side of that, you have the Beastman. As I stated, the Savage. I'm not sure what goes through that guy's head. I'm not sure I want to know what goes through that guy's head. I mean, well, let's face facts. I'm sure the voices in his head are real, and I'm sure they have some really good ideas sometimes. But I don't know. This guy is definitely a few sandwiches short of a picnic. There's no two ways about that. But that's what makes him dangerous. Is can you really scout? Can the Rev use these tools that he's acquired? As he's worked his way through Fight Underground, the film study, the study. I mean, you're never going to get the same match out of Beastman twice. I can tell you that right now, just because I don't think Beastman knows how to plan anything out. The guy just goes in there and reacts to the situation.
He's unpredictable, and does he follow direction? We don't know that.
No, I don't know if he's capable of following direction, and to a degree, that may not be a bad thing. Sometimes that's what makes him so hard to prepare for. So I personally think that this is going to be the biggest test probably in his career for the Rev Ron Hunt, because he's taking on an athlete that, as I said, as RPW just said, he's unpredictable. How do you prepare for somebody who really doesn't prepare himself, other than he just knows he wants to go in there and just stomp a mud hole in your ass? And he's going to do everything he can to try to do that. Obviously, we've seen that is including using that big beefy bone of his. So this is going to be a gigantic test for Beastman, or I'm sorry, for the Rev Ron Hunt facing Beastman, because I don't know if the Rev, I mean, we've seen the video, Revs were obviously working out, preparing his body physically, but it's the mental aspect here. And do I think the Rev will come out on top? It's very possible, but the unpredictability factor is there. And I know I've said this before with the Masked Idiot, the wild card factor, and that came back to bite us all in the ass, obviously. Guy ended up counting lights. But I think in this case, it's totally different. Trying to prepare for somebody like Beastman is just like, you can't do it. I said I did have a brief match with him towards the end of my career, and the first thing I thought of is, how do you prepare for this guy? Because obviously he has no, I mean, whatever's up in that head of his, who knows? So this is gonna be a true test for the Rev, and it's gonna be interesting to see if he can indeed overcome it. So this is gonna be a very interesting match, any way you look at it. I think personally, we couldn't have a better big time showdown for our heavyweight championship as having these two guys. The guy that everybody's picked from day one is, let's face it, no pun intended, the Reverend has been the anointed one. And then he's going to go up against this big beast, and we're going to see exactly what happens. So that is going to be a sight to see as far as Area 3 goes. So Also coming up in Area 3, we will be, obviously with my announcement tonight, we're going to be showcasing the Viragos as Tatiana Rose, again, representing Team Atlas. Sorry, Stace. Is
bite
going
me.
to is going to be representing the Viragos division. We'll be putting that match together in the coming weeks. We're going to try to also highlight our duos division. So there's something to get into there. Some of you guys, I don't know if you want to try to, we have some established tag teams, obviously, maybe not quite as many as we would like. Dean's tried to put together a throw together team. I don't know. Are they going to be a team for you in Area 3, Dean? What are you
Don't
thinking
worry
about
about it, Paul. Time will tell. Yes, they'll be. Thank you.
that? Okay, well, I gotta prepare these contracts and everything. I gotta get people signed and get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. So I gotta, if you're planning
I
on
don't think
throwing them
I
in there,
like the fact that you're making matches and you have a team. Somehow the rest of us are going to get screwed on this.
Stacy, now would I do something like that?
Yes, you would.
That hurts.
Too bad.
That hurts. Jeez. I thought we were past all that. I mean,
So Paul, you said, should we worry about Dean with the duos division Area 3? I want to put RPW on the spot because I don't know if you've been paying attention to the social media for Fight Underground, but news has broke about dissension in your ranks as it pertains to one of your tag teams.
There is no dissension. I've been on with you guys, so I'm not quite paying attention to social media at this time. So I know absolutely nothing about what you're talking about. There's no issues with Team RPW. The runway, I'm getting them prepared. They'll be ready for Area 3. Paul, you and I will have a conversation later that I was going to enter them into Area 3 when the time was ready. They've been training hard. They've been working hard. And they're ready to prove why they are the best tag team that has yet to debut in the Fight Underground.
Well, whoever's been working as a source for this prize fighter news seems to think otherwise. So I mean, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just reading the story. But
and that's just
seems
what
like
it is. It's a story. They need to get their facts straight before they start publishing just garbage.
yeah, I'm looking at it now here. You might want to check this out, RPW. It's a little disturbing if I'm you, at least. I don't know where the news source, obviously, by Prize Fighter is. They've been pretty good since they've been doing, stories for Fight Underground. They've been pretty spot on in their news reporting so far.
Paul, who are these jokers?
They're very established. They've asked not to be identified, only because of with the social media and everything being there's just a lot of harassment going on out there lately. So for right now, they're going to be an independent news source. They have no real ties to Fight Underground. That's why I say that usually their sources are pretty spot on. So that's why I think RPW, you might want to look into this. These guys are pretty good at getting real information. So
yeah. So I'm reading this. I'm reading this story right now, and it says that they're unhappy with my treatment by putting Mike Law, the colossal Mike Law, in Area 2. That was a tournament for to be the top champion. I mean, it's not a duos tournament. So yeah, I'm going to push Mike Law into that position. So when the time's right, I will make sure that the runway, they get their fair shot, and they're ready for it. And I know that there's no dissension on my team. So whoever wrote this story, this is all bogus. This is all just gossip. And
so
I don't deal with
you don't
gossip.
think the runway could compete singly for the Alpha division?
That wasn't my strategy.
That was going to be my question, RPW. Have you ever had? I mean, I know these guys they're a fantastic tag team. But I also know they're both well-rounded and accomplished singles wrestlers. Was there ever any conversation as to, you know, possibly double duty? I mean, we've seen that before here in Fight Underground, where Arthur MacArthur, he was part of a tag team, but he also threw his hat in the ring in the Alpha King division back in Area 1. Was there any conversation whatsoever about, you know, crossing over? Maybe they wanted to have that conversation and didn't get to have that conversation. Maybe that's a source of this dissension.
Both Tyler and Calvin both have my number. My phone's always on. We've never had a conversation about a singles match. That's why my strategy going forward was to put the Colossal Mike Law into Area 2. I'm saving the runway to be the first ones to defeat Warhorse.
That's a bold statement right there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, not that I don't think they're capable, but RPW, let's not forget that you and Calvin Couture had a little bit of a checkered past. I mean, you claim that you guys are back on good terms now, but are you really?
Yes, we are. We've mended our fences. We've patched up all of our differences, and I am the coach for them. I am going to point them in the right direction because, like I said in the past, I taught Calvin almost everything that I know. Here's where I'm going to apply the rest of my knowledge to make him one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling. Tyler, his tag team partner, he's an up and coming. He's got the tools to make it, and them together collectively, you're going to see something like you've never seen before.
Let me ask you this.
Tyler doesn't like you. I heard Tyler doesn't like you.
I was just about to kind of set to that point, RPW. Yeah. Let's not forget a source of that falling out you had with Calvin was Tyler. And when Tyler came into the fold of Golden Sheik, you know, your running buddy BC Steel, bringing him in, that was kind of that was the beginning of the dissension there. So, I mean, have you patched things up with Tyler as well?
See, there's a reason why I have BC Steel alongside with me, because using his knowledge, he's helped me see where I made some mistakes. He's helped Calvin realize my value to their team. The information that I can teach them, they're going to take and they're going to run with it. So,
or maybe they think that you're going to Dylan Dean your team.
No, I'm not a Dylan Dean. I'm far from a Dylan Dean. I'm a little bit smarter than a Dylan Dean.
Oh.
That's an even bolder statement.
Holy. Can you send me over some of what you're smoking, Potter? Because you're like way out there with the shit tonight.
I mean, that's an even bolder statement. I gotta agree with that. Not demeaning any of your accomplishments by any means, RPW, but you're probably one of the newest guys to go from in-ring competitor to, you know, this side of the table, so to speak. You know, some of us here have been out of the fight game for a while, and you know, have been on this side. You know, you're kind of the newcomer, so.
But don't forget, Paul. I've been around for a very long time, 20 years in the game. I've been around the Pittsburgh scene.
Sure.
For a lot longer.
And I'm not denying or disputing any of that. What I'm trying to say is sometimes when you're on this side of the looking glass, your thought processes have to be a little bit different than when you're a competitor. There's a lot of difference between, you know, being active and being out there in the ring and having to sit back and actually help someone with their career. Not saying you can't do it. Again, no disrespect to you in any way possible. We're just trying to figure, I mean, we see this information and we're just trying to, you know, get to the bottom of what's going on, basically.
Yeah, and like I said, that story is all bogus, and it'll come out in the end that it was a bullshit story.
Okay.
So we'll see come Area 3 if there's any dissension.
Okay.
When's the last time you talked to Calvin?
Just the other day.
Oh, okay.
Well,
what do you say?
Our conversations are private. I don't like to share that information.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Well,
just
that's okay.
messaged him, and he said to tell you you're full of shit. So,
I'm sure that sounds exactly like something Calvin would say.
Well, Dean,
I'm getting
guess,
deja vu of super hentai vibes here with RPW and Dean Radford.
I think what we'll have to, I'm just going to say, like I said it earlier in the evening, time will tell.
here we go. Father Time's at it again.
That's all I'm saying.
You know, Paul, I don't know if it's going to bite me in the end or any of us, but I'm excited to see what kind of Joker card you're pulling for this shit. Because I know everything you do is always planned out for a reason. I don't know where the hell it's going to go, but good luck, bud.
All right, thank you. Because I'm going to put the cherry on top of that statement with you know better than anybody, Dean. Nothing I do is by accident.
Unfortunately.
So now that we've had this spirited discussion this week, and some of us, well, we didn't have the evening we thought we were going to have. Sorry again, Stace. Not really. Just wanting to remind everybody to tune in again next week, as Stacy will have her newest acquisition with us, Dylan Dean, and we will see where that's going.
Can we make sure Bubba's here? We got to make sure Bubba's here.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I am
Yes,
going
I
to
cannot
make
wait
sure.
to see Bubba's reaction.
And we're going to have to get a call time on the Facebook Live to make sure that we have enough time for Dylan to talk, because there's all that, helium in that thing. It's got to depress.
Well, yeah, he does tend to be long-winded, but I am going to have a very personal conversation with Bubba and make sure that he is going to be on with us next week. Also, I will have Tatiana Rose, the first and newest member of Team Atlas. She will be on with us next week as well. So, Stace, please clear your calendar, because you need to be here.
Trust me, I will be here, because I have a couple questions for that ungrateful skank.
I'm sure she has a few remarks for you as well from the conversations we've had.
Paul. I hate this guy, but I'm going to throw it out there. Next week, Justin Idol returns to the council meeting.
Is it going to snow?
Is he still alive?
Yeah, I guess so. He just came out of the rock.
Okay.
It's going to be an action.
Is anyone else going to show up next week?
You're going to have
Dylan and
Justin, Bubba. We're going to need a 3-hour show.
Yeah, we got to start early.
We're going to have to start on Wednesday and roll into Thursday with all that going on. Holy hell!
I love how Justin and Dylan can both just decide to show up whenever they want, the prima donnas that they are. And meanwhile, I've been here this whole time, the real workhorse of Fight Underground.
Oh, for God's sake!
Much to our dismay.
Dash, I can't wait to hear you call them out on that.
You know what, Dash?
I will.
Dash, feel free to take a week off. Feel free.
Please?
Take 2.
3.
You know what? That just wouldn't be in my spirit. I owe it to the fans of Fight Underground to be here week after week and tell it how it is.
They're not going to miss your pumpkin head, bud. You'll be good.
We want to draw a crowd, Dash. We want to draw a crowd.
And I'm a proven draw.
You couldn't draw a crowd with a pencil and paper. But anyway. So tune in for sure next week, as we obviously are going to have an action-packed show, as we are going to start to ramp up for Area 3. Once again, I am the fight director and the head of the Fight Council, Paul Atlas, and the new coach of Team Atlas, and my newest acquisition, Tatiana. So I just got to keep rubbing it in, Stace. I'm sorry. I would like to thank my council members for joining me again this week. As always, I would like to thank our fans who watch us all across our social media platforms. Again, tune in next week, same time. We will be here 8 o'clock on Thursday night. Until then, have a great week, and we will see you next week.
time is now. Council, you can all thank Stacy Hunter. The poison, the destruction,